What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Paint Society. In this episode, we're gonna get Jeremy's Yukon all in primer. Don't overthink it, it's just paint. And thanks once again for joining me on this episode of Paint Society. This is a channel, whether you're a do-it-yourselfer or a professional, we're really gonna teach you the skills and build your knowledge on auto body. So in this episode, we're gonna get this whole entire truck all in primer and get it one step closer to a paint job. And before you start your project, you need to acquire a team, and each member is rated on a PSR rating, Paint Society rating. First up, we have Patrick. Now Patrick has a lot of experience in home renovation and sanding and tile work. He will be a great asset to the team. Next up, we have Jeremy, who has been part of the Paint Society team. At times, he can be a little bit much, but he is a hard worker. He likes to eat first and delay the time that it takes to get the project started. Next up, we have Niko. Niko is great because he can get into small areas that we need him for at any time. After the project today, we will reassess our PSR rating. And the first step we're gonna be doing is using our DuraBlock, and this is a sticky paper. So basically, it will stick right onto the block itself. Now there's a couple different ways you can do this. You can use the sticky paper, or you can use the Velcro option, okay? And Velcro paper will come with just that, Velcro paper. You can see right here the difference where it is Velcroed on and it doesn't use the sticky option. I will say that the Velcro, it does stick a little bit better, but you might get a straighter cut with something like this. So there's trade-offs for each type, but it'll work just perfect. What we're gonna start off by doing is we're gonna be blocking first this whole side of the car. We're gonna block everything completely straight with P180, so let's get to it. And pretty much what we're doing here is sanding as straight as we can. And what the 180 is going to do is it's going to level off the surface. Now you remember, we already did some paintless dent removal here. So all the panels relatively should be straight, but I'm seeing something on Niko's panel. See, your PSR rating just went up because you identified a dent. You see a dent, a dent, a dent, a dent. So that is what we'll fill. So you can leave that alone for now. Over here on this side, it's looking pretty good. We have a little bit of a fill here and up there. And then on the fender looking pretty straight over on this side as well. Now Patrick's gonna be sanding on our hood. Now if you guys remember, we used an epoxy primer out of a spray can. That's a 2K primer. And what we're gonna be doing now is sanding and getting ready for our urethane. And we use that just to get us to this point so it wouldn't rust. See how there's no rust on this hood, right? But Jeremy over here did his own little repair and he only had spray can, rattle can primer. Do you see the difference? Do you see how it's protected and how it's not? So in this area, Patrick, we'll go ahead and we'll get this all down to metal and scuff up the whole rest of the hood, and then we'll be able to prime it. So what Jeremy's gonna do is he's got 180 here. We got 180 grit paper. And we're going to scuff this. This is epoxy primer, and we want a better build. And you know, epoxy primer does not scuff well, but this has been drying for at least 2 months, I would say.
More than
yeah, and you know, the fact is, this is a project like most of you that just takes some time. So Jeremy's gonna go ahead, give it a nice good scuff, and then we'll include this with our primer job. So our team's got everything down in 180. So what we're gonna be doing is I'm gonna DA the whole car, the whole vehicle with 320. And what a 320 grit will do, it's gonna refine the scratch before primer. So when this primer shrinks, it's shrinking into something smaller and not so aggressive, so we don't see those scratches everywhere after it's dried. So basically what we wanna do is we just wanna go over the surface. So if you come closer, you're looking here, this is a 320 grit scratch, where this might be a little bit rougher 180. And we don't want that. So by giving it a 320, we're getting that much closer to primer. So let's get to it. And after it's all been 320, she's coming into the booth for its final primer. We're gonna go ahead and get this whole entire thing primed. Now, we haven't removed the door handles yet because this vehicle is still driving back to its home, and that's about 30 or 40 minutes in between time. Remember, something like this is getting worked on every few weekends, so we wanna make it drivable. We'll go ahead and get everything masked up. And we got it all masked up. It took a little while, but it's all good. It's ready for primer. The whole truck will get primered in a 2K urethane primer along with the grill here. Let's go ahead and show you what we're using and how we mix it up. So we're gonna be using the Eastwood 2K urethane primer. What 2K means is it's gonna get 2 parts. And what this is going to do, it's like a surfacer primer. It's gonna build up a little bit. So we're gonna use this on the whole vehicle. We're gonna be using the Eastwood P500 paint gun. And remember, Eastwood sent all this over, and we're gonna do a giveaway on this gun after the series is all complete. So one of you guys are gonna be able to own this. So let me show you how to mix it up. We have our container, and we're gonna find 4-to-1 on here. And we've located 4-to-1 right here. We're gonna go up to the first 5 with our primer, and then the next 5 with our activator. And we'll stop right there. That is our primer. Now, our primer will never dry unless we put our primer surfacer activator in there, okay? And that will come right up to here, and we'll stop it right there at 5. And we'll give it a mix, and we'll go apply it to our vehicle. Before that, though, we're gonna have to treat those special areas with metal with self-etching primer. As you can see, guys, it's ready for primer. We're gonna put down 2 coats of urethane primer. We got a nice smooth finish, so we don't need to pile on too much. We already put our self-etch down on all the metal. Let's get priming. All right, so we're looking over it. It's all dry. This is only about 30 minutes later. So what's the next point from here? Well, give it a good 24 to 48 hours before you start to get on it again before getting it ready for paint. Then from there, you can sand it down with 300, 320 or 400 grit. And we're gonna show you that all in the next episode. Now, a special help to the Paint Society team, all of their PSR ratings have gone up. Now, keep in mind, these guys do not have any auto body experience at all, but very, very handy, and they did a great job today. So thank you guys for coming and helping out. Where do we go from here? Well, we have a lot more in store for the Yukon build, and I hope that you're enjoying the build so far. And guys, this is Brian from Paint Society reminding you, don't overthink it.
It's just paint.
But see you guys on the next one.